I've probably used meth since I was about 12 years old, along with every other drug. Junkie, shooting up probably about 3 grams a day for close to 4 years. And I was, selling a ton of drugs. And I was basically just running with, the wrong people. Ended up finally, thank God, getting arrested. And I'd been in jail my whole life, so it wasn't anything new to be back in that situation again, but this time something was just different. I realized that I'd destroyed my whole life. I didn't have anything left. I was just pretty much a shell of a person. Little things kept popping up, little God things in books and things people would say and people that I was meeting in jail. And eventually, I guess, all those things added up. And I believed just enough to try it, to give my life to Christ and see what he could do with it. A buddy of mine just one day said, I go to Fountain Springs, you want to come check it out? I came, and I actually ran into somebody that I used to do drugs and sell drugs to, and she told me there was a group that she had done here, so I checked it out, and that kind of turned into Celebrate Recovery. I was baptized here when I was out on bail. I think it was April 2014. So I went to sentencing. I could have been sitting 20 years in prison, and everyone from Celebrate Recovery and Pastor Norm, and I had a courthouse full of people supporting me. I ended up getting a 5-year sentence, which I had to sit 2 years of. Before I got sentenced, I was in the basement of Fountain Springs here, talking to Doug Kavanaugh, who was leading Celebrate Recovery. And he had told me that no matter what happened or where I went, he was gonna make sure that Celebrate Recovery followed me. I was in for about a year when Fountain Springs finally could get in the door. I think it was January they started doing the services full time, so I was on the crew that set up all that stuff in the morning. So basically from January of 2015 till September, I was on the other end of that TV when Pastor David was talking about the Rapid City Minimum Unit. A lot of people were skeptical about whether Fountain Springs really wanted us as a part of the church, but I had already known Pastor David and Pastor Norm and some other people here, so I knew what the deal was. I knew they were for real. Honestly, when I was in prison for those 2 years, before I had come in, I was bouncing around place to place. So when I thought about home, Fountain Springs is what I thought about. The things that this church has done and the people in this church. If Pastor David wasn't who he is, if this church wasn't doing what it's doing, there's no telling where I'd be right now. Going into the juvenile service center is gonna make a huge impact. If there'd have been something like this there when I was, growing up as a kid, I might have not, done the things that I had done, or if somebody could have told me then what I know now, I could be somewhere completely different. Anybody that thinks that, they've done too much or they've gone too far and that, God can't use them, I guess just take a look at me, because, he's using me right now, this very second.